So we are talking everything Power BI, and again, we are going to be right around 45 minutes to an hour or so before we conclude this thing. But I am open to all questions. We're talking Power BI. This is a Power BI webinar. Those that are interested in learning more about Power BI, yo, yo, those that are interested in learning Power BI, if you're interested in learning how to take your skill sets to the next level, you are definitely in the right place tonight. So here's the deal, just a little bit about Power BI for those that do not know what Power BI is. So Power BI is a it's a Microsoft application. It's a Microsoft application, but here's the key thing about Power BI. It's free. It's free. So I don't know when the last time you had, well, let me back up. Let me say it a different way. Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is free. So I don't know when the last time you were in and you were needing a Microsoft application such as either Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher. I think Publisher is still around. I may be dating myself. Definitely Excel, PowerPoint, other Microsoft applications. I don't know when the last time you got an application that was free. It's been a long time since a Microsoft application has been free. How long did it take to get comfortable with Power BI? It took me, you know what? Let me give a little bit more about Power BI, and I would definitely answer that question. No doubt, I would definitely answer that question. So, Power BI is a Microsoft application. Power BI Desktop is free. What does that mean? Power BI Desktop. What is Power BI Desktop, and what's the difference between Power BI? Excuse me, man. What's the difference between Power BI and Power BI Desktop? Power BI is Power BI, right? Power BI Desktop is just is the tool that we use. It's the application that we use in order to develop Power BI reports. At the end of the day, we're creating Power BI reports. You can call them dashboards, but at the end of the day, we're creating Power BI reports. And once we publish the reports, they become able to be called dashboards. That's a whole nother conversation, but it's not that terribly difficult. It's just different. With that said, the reason why I believe that Power BI Desktop is free is because Power BI wants as many individuals out there to develop on Power BI Desktop to learn Power BI so that it can really dominate the business intelligence workspace, right? And so what's the best way to get people involved? You give them food, you give them drinks, you give them free. You give them food, you give them drinks, you give them free, and not necessarily in that order. So Power BI Desktop is free for Power BI developers. There's no trick to it. All you have to do is go over to Power BI. All you have to do is, I would just say Google Power BI, Google Microsoft Power BI. It'll take you to the Power BI homepage to where all you got to do is just download Power BI Desktop. Now, once you get it, that's when I come in. That's when I teach you Power BI. Now you can go over to my main video channel, and you can probably learn everything you need to learn just by watching my main video channel. If you feel like you don't need any direct one-on-one assistance. And what I will say is, I do want to welcome everyone over that is chiming in from. I'm not going to call out the different socials, but we are on 4 or 5 different social platforms as we are presenting tonight. If you want a little bit more of the interactive, you can go to my main video channel, and it's under Power of the BI. I don't want to call out any platform names because I don't want to get spooked out or banned from whichever platforms we're on. But I will be presenting some Power BI information and some web information on my main video platform. But if you're just interested in just sticking around on the platform you're in because you're not necessarily worried about that main video channel, that is okay too. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. What I need you to do is go over to Google and type in Microsoft Power BI. When you type in Microsoft Power BI, it'll take you to the Microsoft homepage. You download Power BI Desktop. It'll come to your computer. Now, I will say it does have to be on a PC. It does have to be on a PC. You can create Power BI reports on. You can create Power BI reports on. Man. Mac and some other platforms, but you're not able to do it desktop wise. You can only create from a PC create Power BI reports on a desktop PC. So here's the deal. Once you download it, then you're able to create Power BI reports, and you can then create presentations for your particular company, or you can develop your skill set so that then you can go out there and you can. I don't want to guarantee how much money you can make. You can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money creating Power BI reports. And if you're already in corporate America and you have heard the spooks of Power BI, you already know what I'm talking about. But what I do want, what I want you to understand is you do not have to be in IT. You do not have to have a degree in IT. You do not have to have a degree in computer science in order to be a Power BI developer. I have none, I have neither. So with that said, you do not have to be in IT or have a degree in computer science in order to be really a damn good Power BI developer, to be honest. You just need to be consistent and practice, practice, practice. I mean, it's just like sports. I mean, in order to be good, you got to put the reps in. And if somebody asks me and say, hey, you know, how long does it take? It takes as long as it takes. But at the end of the day, I mean, there is the age-old saying to where you put 10,000 hours in, you become a professional. You become good at what you do. You can become great at what you do if you put 10,000 hours in. I'm not going to tell you that you have to put 10,000 hours in. I'm going to tell you that you got to put the work in. You got to put the reps in. You put the work in, you put the reps in. You're going to get good. You're going to get better, and you're going to get paid. Guaranteed. Now, here is the upside to Power BI, right? And when I say the upside, I'm comparing it to other areas of IT. And there's several different upsides to it, but compared to other areas of IT, right? So here's the deal. Those of you guys that are in business, if you're in, not that you have a company, but if you are working in some form of, if you have a job, period, you're working for a business, right? So if you're working for a business, I'm going to make a guarantee. Joe Namath made a guarantee, I don't know, I think it was back in 1970 or 1971. Hell, I don't know, I wasn't around. Well, kind of 71 I was, but not in 1970. But at the end of the day, Joe Namath made a guarantee with the New York Jets. He guaranteed, they made a deal with the devil that the New York Jets was going to win the Super Bowl, right? He made a deal with the devil and the New York Jets won the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not going to make a deal with the devil. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make a deal with the devil, but I am going to make a guarantee. I am going to make a guarantee. The guarantee I'm going to make is this. Every industry, every business, every department, every cubicle within the next 3 years is going to be using Power BI. Well, let me rephrase that. It's going to be using business intelligence because they're different types of business intelligence. Power BI, the BI in Power, the BI in Power BI stands for business intelligence. Now, here's the deal. If every business used Power BI as their business intelligence tool, Microsoft probably would get sued for monopoly purposes. But I'm not going to say that they wouldn't mind getting sued. They've been sued before for monopoly type purposes. But at the end of the day, I doubt that they're going to be the only, and there are a couple of other different business intelligence tools that are out there. There's ClickView that I know of, and there's Tableau that I've used before as well. I kind of like Tableau, but it's not my tool of choice. Tableau is not my tool of choice. Power BI is my tool of choice. It's my business intelligence tool of choice. So where I'm going with that is, I'm going to make a guarantee right now, today, 5/20/2026 at 8:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, that every industry, every business, every department, every cube is going to be using Power BI in some form or fashion within the next 3 years. Not Power BI. Let me say it again. Every industry, every department, every company, every industry, every company, every department, every cube is going to be using business intelligence in the next 3 years, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the accounting department, the finance department, the human resource department, the research and development department. It doesn't matter, right? It's just what's going to happen, because if you think about how fast the speed of artificial intelligence is moving, that's going to be the speed of business intelligence within corporate America. And when I say corporate America, I'm talking about any business. I'm not talking about, the Fortune 500 or the Fortune 1000 or the Fortune 100. I'm talking about in order to be competitive, you're going to be needing to use business intelligence. My business intelligence tool of choice is Power BI. Now, I don't work for Microsoft. I don't get paid to endorse Power BI. It's just my business intelligence tool of choice. Now, Mr. Microsoft, if you're out there and you're listening, you want to endorse me, hey, that's all good. That's all fine and dandy, right? But at the end of the day, let's see, Philip, let's see, sorry, just adding my question here. When you get a chance, should I learn SQL first? Is it valuable when it comes to implementing Power BI? Got your question? I'm going to answer that question too, Philip. I'm going to answer that question too. I think you had two questions out there. One question was, how long does it take to become good? And the next question is, do you need SQL? I got you. No doubt. I got you. I'm going to answer those questions. So with that said, I don't get paid I don't get paid to endorse Power BI, at least not now at the time of this recording, because I will take Mr. Microsoft money. Trust me. But Power BI is my tool of choice. And the reason why it's my tool of choice is because it's relatively easy, and I ain't gonna say relatively, but yeah, it's relatively easy. And it was the first reporting tool that I was turned on to moving into the tech side of the world. Now, with that said, you can do further research if you like. If you would like to go out there and you want to see what Power BI reports look like on my main video channel, I'm not calling the name out there, but it's the second largest search engine in the world. It's under Power of the BI. I've got three actually. My main channel is Power of the BI, where I give a lot of information and I have a lot of reports out there, probably over 100 different reports. I don't know, maybe 200, I don't know. Then I've got a shorts channel, which is called the CTO Shorts, CTO-Shorts. And you'll see my face be on this CTO Shorts. You'll know you're in the right place, where it's all shorts. So if you like to learn using shorts, it's out there. I've got hundreds of videos out there on shorts. If you like to learn using long form and going from end to end, go to my Power of the BI channel. And then if you just want to get super techie and you want to skip all of the nonsense and stuff like this and all of the fluff, and all you want to do is get straight to it, you've got a question about how to get something done, you're already on the job, go to my straight tech channel on the main video channel, and it's the CTO. So I've got Power of the BI, which is is everything, and then CTO is my text, just straight text, straight to the point, and then CTO Shorts is where you can learn Power BI using shorts. Now, with that said, Philip asked earlier, he said, how long does it take to get good at Power BI? So that was the first question. I got you, Philip. I got you. I know you had two questions out there. So the first question is, how do you get good at, how long does it take to become good? I could say 10,000 hours, because we already know you put 10,000 hours into anything, you're gonna probably become pretty good at that, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to take 10,000 hours, and it could take a little bit more, right? Now I'm gonna push more so on the side of it doesn't necessarily take 10,000 hours. It takes reps. It takes time. It takes reps. It takes practice. It takes reps. And what I keep saying is it takes reps, right? It takes reps. Let's see. It takes reps. So because it takes reps, the only way to even learn this thing, my microphone fell. My microphone fell. That's crazy. Let's do it this way. Testing. Got me? A little bit more volume there. Testing. Oh, we're good. So it takes reps. And when I say reps, it takes creating reports. It takes making mistakes. It takes doing something and then realizing that you don't necessarily know how to do it. It takes doing something that you know how to do and doing it again and again and again. It takes reps. It's just like it's like a football player, right? They don't, like a professional football player, don't just get up and go out there and run on Sundays and say, he's an elite athlete. No, this thing has been happening for a long time. Normally these athletes have been playing for a long period of time, probably since they were 3-4 years old, and then taking extra training and doing extra skill sessions and all that, right? Same thing with Power BI. It's a matter, the way you get good is you practice. And You have to practice and practice and practice and make mistakes and not necessarily know you made mistakes, and then just repeating and repeating and repeating. Now, with that said, I make it seem super simple because, well, I make it seem super simple, but it's really not super simple. But at the end of the day, it's putting in reps. Now, the way that I make it easy to put reps in is I've got videos that are already out there on my main video channel. I'm talking about from beginning to end, building reports. And we're going to look at one report here this evening. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but we're going to look at one report that it's a dummy report, but it's built pretty consistent with one of our Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies, I believe. And I've got other reports out there with Fortune 100. They're dummy reports. There is data that I created that would work in a Fortune 100 company. And I've got several Fortune 100 companies that I've built these reports for that are out there on the main video channel. All you got to do is go over the power of the BI. Is there. And when you get over there, if you like and subscribe, it kind of helps my numbers out too. But excuse me. At the end of the day, it's just reps. Now, there are some things that you need to know, right? Now, I go from end to end on many of my videos that are out there on the main video channel. There are many videos that I go from end to end to where if you can build one of those reports, well, let me say it a different way. I would say build that report, go step by step with me in the video, go step by step with me in the video, go step by step with me in the video. And then when you get done going step by step with me in the video 3 times, then do the same thing 3 times by yourself. And when you've done it 3 times by yourself, then come back and do the same report and change something up 3 times again, right? And the reason why I like to do that, in addition to it just being reps, the reason why I like to do that is because what it does is now you know what the end goal is. Like right now, if I say go out there and build a Power BI report and you've never built a Power BI report before, you don't know what the end goal is. You don't even know where to start. At least once you've done it 3 times, and then you go back and do it on your own 3 times, and then you go back and you do something different to it 3 times, now you know what the end goal is. Now you know what colors you want to use. Now you know what type of visuals you want to use. Because at the end of the day, what Power BI is a visualization tool, and a visualization tool that builds reports, right? That's why I say it's going to be in every industry, every company, every department, every cube in the next 3 years, right? The reason for that is because it's business intelligence, and it probably is going to be a lot quicker than 3 years. It could even be in the next, 15 months, right? But at the end of the day, if you're watching this video right now, if you're watching this video on any of the social channels right now, which you are, what I'm going to tell you is you're already ahead of the game. You're already ahead of the game because even though it's moving at the speed of light, there's some people that's just standing still. There's some businesses that's just standing still. They're sitting on the side and they're waiting to see what really happens. And by the time they sit back and realize what happened, it's already happened. I don't know how many of you guys were on ChatGPT 4 years ago. Or ChatGPT. If you were on when I say on, if you were aware and if you were using ChatGPT 4 years ago. There were some of us that were using it, and we knew that there were individuals out there sitting on the sideline waiting to see what happened. Now, many people have caught on, but everybody hasn't, right? So with that said, at the end of the day, it's the same thing that's happening with business intelligence. Now, there are individuals out there that are going to major colleges and universities getting degrees in business, but they are not getting introduced to business intelligence. They're getting introduced to textbooks. They're getting introduced to theory. They're getting introduced to what's in the accounting book. But if you can write a prompt, you can probably figure out a lot of, if you can write a prompt, you can probably create if you have the know-how, you can probably write a prompt to create a financial statement, right? Now, that goes to say, if you don't know what a financial statement is, you probably can't write a prompt for it, right? Almost the same thing with business intelligence. If you can write a prompt, you can probably build a pretty sophisticated Power BI report. But if you don't know business intelligence, if you don't know the basics of business intelligence, You don't know what prompt to write. You don't know what prompt to write. Okay. Now, I had someone ask me, or someone said to me, I think in a webinar or two ago, maybe 2 or 3 webinars ago, somebody said, hey, why are you still teaching this tech stuff if, AI is about to take over tech? Let me take a drink. The person that asked me that, I'm not going to call him an idiot. I'm not. I'm not going to call him an idiot. I'm just going to take a drink. So here's the thing. I know a lot of you guys have questions. You say, hey, why would I want to get into tech right now if AI is taking over tech? Listen, man. Listen. AI is not taking over tech. Okay? AI is not going to be the spooky alien that takes over the world. Okay? The person that knows AI is going to be the person that takes over the world. Right? AI is not going to take over businesses. AI is not going to take over business intelligence. The person that knows how to use AI with business intelligence is going to take over business. Now, you may say, well, why don't you teach this to small business people or people that are trying to get into business, or create this as a tool for people to go out there and do consulting? I don't care what you do with it. Right? I don't care what you do with it. What I'm telling you is that you need to know it. So, and what I do in my course is I do have an AI. I do have an AI. I have a place for AI. I have a place for AI. And I'm going to say a place for AI. And the reason why I'm going to clean that up a little bit is because it is. If I teach someone math and I use a calculator, they really don't know math. They know how to use a calculator. But they don't necessarily know what operations at all times that they need to utilize within that calculator. But if I teach you math using paper and pen, and then I show you how to use a calculator along with what you know how to do with paper and pen, what it's going to do is going to speed your process up. Let me say that a different way. If I don't teach you the basics, if you don't know the basics, a calculator is not going to work. Same thing with business intelligence. If you don't know the basics of business intelligence, AI is not going to work for you. You're not going to be able to prompt it. You've got to tell AI what to do. You've got to tell AI what you're looking for. You don't just look at the computer and all of a sudden the dashboard appears. Now, maybe it will in the next 10, 15 years. I don't know. But today, that's not how it works. You don't look at the computer and stuff just happens. You got to prompt it. And I don't care if you have agents, different types of workflows. It don't matter. You got to prompt it. But you can't prompt it unless you know what to do with it, unless you know what you're asking for, right? That's where I'm going with business intelligence, right? In order to be good at business intelligence, it's bigger than prompting AI. It's bigger than prompting ChatGPT. It's bigger than prompting Claude, right? But if you can build, if I can teach you to build a simple business intelligence report to where you feel good about the reports that you create, then you can use artificial intelligence to be faster. You can use artificial intelligence to look better, to make your reports look better, right? It's just like, that's all it is. So when people ask me about AI and, why do you teach business intelligence when AI is about to take over? That reminds me of, I was listening to a guy, talking about how when the horse and buggy kind of ruled the earth, and they can say ruled the earth, but it was the major source of transportation. If you wanted to go somewhere, you had a big horse or a fast horse, or you had several horses, and it pulled a buggy. But then as soon as someone created the car, and another person, that same person that sold horses, they went in, I think, tried to buy 100 horses in order to sell 100 horses. When this guy's created a car, times were changing. There was no need for the horse anymore. Well, there was no need for the horse for transportation anymore. Now we evolved to something different. We evolved to the car, right? We didn't kill the horses because we got cars. As a matter of fact, horses are still around. They're not even extinct. We got cars and we got horses and we got cars. Listen, AI is not here to take over. People that can use AI in what they do are going to get better at what they do. What I do is business intelligence. And what I'm telling you is, if you're using business intelligence, or if you're in a business to where you're looking to, if you're working for a company and you're looking to upskill yourself, business intelligence is what you want to upskill yourself with. I'm primarily saying Power BI, which is a Microsoft tool, but there are other tools that are out there that you can use that'll help you upskill yourself for business intelligence. But if you just sit back and say, hey, I'm the best accountant that's out here, and you don't know any form of business intelligence, I've got an MBA in marketing, and I'm the best marketer out here, but you're not upskilling yourself to business intelligence. If you are an executive assistant and you feel you're the best executive assistant out there, but you're not upskilling yourself for business intelligence, you're going to be probably pacing yourself out of a position within the next 2 to 3 years, right? It's just something that you're gonna have to have. It's almost like a notebook and paper back in the day. Right now, it's like having Microsoft and Word, or having a computer and a document, or a computer and a spreadsheet, right? It's just something you're gonna have to have. Now, the advantage you today is this: everybody's not doing it. Everybody's not doing it. So what it does is it puts you in a position. Let me say it a different way. Let me say it differently. No matter what position you're in, no matter what job you're doing right now, if you learn Power BI today, if you learn Power BI within the next 6 months, you're putting yourself in a different pay grade. No matter what you're doing. If your position right now does not utilize Power BI, and you learn Power BI now within the next 4 to 6 months, you're putting yourself in a different pay grade. You're putting yourself in position for a different pay grade. You're even putting yourself in position to even change careers, because if you can create a Power BI report for retail, you can create a Power BI report for accounting. If you can create a Power BI report for marketing, you can create a Power BI report for real estate services. It crosses over into every industry. It doesn't matter. Now, you can become specific in what you do. You can't say, hey, all I want to do is construction-related Power BI reports. You can say, all I want to do is accounting-related Power BI reports. And that's cool. Yeah, you become, even better at that particular skill set because you've created a niche of what type of industry you want to be in. But what I'm telling you is, you will be able to move around, if you wanted to, you will be able to move around into any of the different industries, in different sectors, industries, companies, department, cubicles that you desire to be in, or even create your own consulting services. I'll leave you with this on that note. Those of you guys that want to go out there and create businesses, or say you are in a business consultant, you're business consultants now. If you add Power BI to your repertoire, I'm telling you, it's a different ball game, game changer. I'm gonna leave that alone. So what I am going to do here is what we have here. This is a Power BI report that I created. Excuse me. This is a Power BI report that I created. And it's actually out there on the main video channel from beginning to end of how this report was created. I'm not necessarily here to recreate this report for you. I'm just here to give you some idea of what a Power BI report looks like, and I am explaining why business intelligence is more valuable than AI. Explain why business intelligence is more valuable than AI. So I got a question here. It says explain or statement saying explain why business intelligence is more valuable than AI, which is artificial intelligence. I am not going to co-sign that business intelligence is more valuable than artificial intelligence. What I am going to say is they do work together. Now, have you caught me 3 years ago? I was kind of pushing back on how AI was going to really be joined with BI because it really wasn't clear. It really wasn't clear. But today, 2026, 5/20/2026, I am not going to co-sign that business intelligence is more valuable than artificial intelligence. They go together, right? Now, if you know anything about projections in business, a projection is only artificial intelligence. And we've been creating projections for as long as we've been in business, or as long as business has been in existence. We've always created projections. A projection is a projection, it's not real. Artificial intelligence is artificial, it's not real, but it's as close to real as we've been at this point. So with that said, I'm not gonna get on that soapbox of why business intelligence is more important than artificial intelligence. There's a need for both. Let's see. Philip says I need to go, but we'll watch your YouTubes and subscribe. Thanks, Philip. Hey, you have a good evening, man. Thank you for joining in. I really appreciate it. So with that said, what we have here is a Power BI report that I created, and basically a Power BI report is just a visualization. Again, I'm not going to go through the actual recreating of the Power BI report. What I am going to do is just give you an idea of how this thing, what's all involved. Well, not all, but what's involved with creating a Power BI report. A Power BI report is basically just data visualization. It's just creating visuals, and everything that you see on here is really a simple visual, and having all the visuals on here makes it a more complex visual. This visual here is a report that I created. I used the Coca-Cola. I used the Coca-Cola theme, and this is all fictitious data. I made this data up myself. There's not anything that comes from the Coca-Cola company, but I use this data as part of with the theme of the challenge between this company and their rival company. So basically, I have several different visuals. Here, this is a slicer visual. This is a slicer visual, just a drop-down slicer. This is actually a slicer too. It's a calendar slicer, but it's actually a slider. And this visual is considered to be a gauge visual, which it has a gauge value. This visual here is considered to be a column chart. And the brother-sister, I would call relationship to a column chart, is this visual here, which is a bar chart. And then we have a table visual that has different, we have a table visual that this is a matrix visual that has different, pretty much like a spreadsheet. At the end of the day, it's like a spreadsheet. Now, the table visual and a table visual and a matrix visual pretty much are very similar, except for a matrix, we can expand and decompress different categories.